When I was in college at Johns Hopkins University, I was in a play, so I guess this was 2010, and it was the story of the life of Ramanujan. And when I was in it, I had no idea that it would then become a movie some 5 years later. But I was contacted by the producers and the director, and I went through many stages of auditions, which obviously you have to do, but it was a very long process, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. But one of the things is that they really wanted to authentically cast the role out of India, and one of the problems I faced was that I was American, I spoke with an American accent, and there was a concern that, maybe I wouldn't be able to authentically portray that role. So my training in Bharatanatyam was extremely important to my even convincing them that I was capable of playing this. The story is so incredible, and we Indians have these amazing historical characters who have contributed a lot to the field of math and science and a lot of things, and globally often we aren't really recognized as much as we, I think, should be. So it was really exciting to me that important Indian character from history will become publicized in this very important way. We have so many movies about mathematical geniuses from the States and from England and from all these places, and Indians are so smart, and it's good to finally see a movie about an Indian who really changed the world of math. Obviously, the character was so far away from who I am, and that made it a challenge, but it also made it wonderful to even have the opportunity to just explore and do things that I obviously wouldn't do in my day-to-day life. But my training in Bharatanatyam was very important to understanding the movements and the gestures and all of the things that a million Brahmin Iyengar girl from the 1910s, 1920s would do. So I'm really lucky that I had that training, because otherwise I wouldn't really know where to start. I think anytime you play a character that's so different from who you are, you have to be very careful not to slip in aspects of your own mannerisms or how you stand or how you talk or any of those things, because as a 1910 South Indian girl, I couldn't be standing with my hands on my hips or doing any kind of American modern mannerism. So that was very important. I think it was just about being very careful and true to that character the entire time. And I had to wear the madisar, which is the 9-yard sari, which was definitely one of the complicated parts of my character, because it is extremely tough to wrap that thing. And for me, it was very important to learn how to do it on my own, because that was part of getting into character for me, was to learn how to do that myself. Yeah, I think all actors should do their own research and not just rely on being told things about their characters. So I did what I could online. Robert Kanigel, who's the author of The Man Who Knew Infinity, the book, and I spoke. And he actually met my character when she was in her 90s, so she was quite old. But he talked to me about her life and what she achieved in her life and the many wonderful things she had done before she passed away. So I think that for me was very important, because even though he didn't know who she was when she was the age that I portrayed her, it informed, how I played her when I knew that she helped children later in her life, and she contributed to a lot of causes that had to do with education, and she really thought her husband's legacy was extremely important. So knowing all of that really helped with my character. For the accent, it's interesting because in real life, they wouldn't even be speaking English at all. So when you choose to change it to English, you're anyways taking a creative license with the story. And as a result, we chose not to do the South Indian dialect specifically. We chose to do a more generic Indian accent, which, even though that doesn't really exist because there are many places in India and many accents and all of those things, we kind of worked on creating one accent that worked for all of us and covered a broader range of India.